ChatGerry, 90-day stroke recovery process and trajectory, using viscoplastic energy analysis, number 1360A, VMT Sharp 702, September 19, 2025. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Stroke. Preface: Stroke remains one of the leading causes of mortality and long-term disability worldwide. Globally, it accounts for about 10.7% of all deaths, ranking as the third most common cause of death after ischemic heart disease and COVID-19. Regionally, stroke is the third leading cause of death in both Japan and Taiwan, following cancer and heart disease, and the fourth leading cause in the United Kingdom, contributing to about 5.1% of total deaths. Beyond mortality, stroke is also a major driver of long-term disability, particularly when recovery is incomplete. Neurologists often emphasize the first 90 days after stroke as the golden period of recovery. During this window, neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to reorganize neural pathways, is at its peak, and the degree of improvement achieved in this time frame largely determines long-term outcomes. This paper presents my personal case study of stroke recovery, specifically focusing on memory recovery trajectory following a pontine hemorrhage complicated by 2 post-stroke seizures. Using the Viscoplastic Medicine Theory, VMT, I quantified my recovery process in strain-stress terms, allowing for a dynamic and systems-based analysis that combines medicine and engineering methods. Strain selection. The primary output strain in this study is memory retention, measured through daily recall exercises and averaged weekly. This quantitative approach avoids reliance solely on subjective impressions, and instead provides measurable recovery progress. Stressors considered. 4 major input stressors were selected, based on their relevance to neurological recovery: blood pressure stability, to reduce rebleeding and vascular strain; glucose control, to support neuronal metabolism; sleep duration and quality, to promote neuroplasticity and repair; physical and cognitive exercises, to reinforce neural pathways. These were analyzed using the VMT energy model, which treats recovery as a balance between cumulative stressors and strain, with recovery represented as strain improvement over time. Timeframe. The recovery process was divided into 3 segments: weeks 1 to 4, 5 to 8, and 9 to 13, to reflect the 90-day golden recovery window. Results. Initial phase, weeks 1 to 4, memory retention fluctuated between 61% and 82%, reflecting instability in the early weeks. This variability was strongly influenced by 2 post-stroke seizures, which temporarily impaired short-term recall and slowed progress. Intermediate phase, weeks 5 to 8, retention rose sharply, stabilizing between 90% and 99%, as blood pressure, glucose, and sleep became better controlled. Daily memory training reinforced consolidation of recall. Late phase, weeks 9 to 13, memory recovery nearly plateaued, consistently reaching 97% to 100%, suggesting near complete restoration of function. Neuroplasticity gains were evident, particularly in the ability to maintain recall accuracy across multiple trials. Overall, the 90-day period demonstrated a strong upward recovery trajectory. While seizures were the major setback early on, the overall progress confirms the brain's capacity to recover function, when supported by systematic lifestyle management. Discussion. 1. Stroke versus seizure effects. A pontine hemorrhage itself does not usually impair memory, as memory circuits reside in the hippocampus and temporal lobes. In my case, memory loss was most likely caused by the 2 post-stroke seizures, which disrupted hippocampal function. This aligns with neurological literature, where seizures are known to impair cognitive performance, both acutely and chronically. 2. Value of the VMT model. Conventional stroke rehabilitation studies often report group averages, which do not capture individual variability. By applying the VMT model, I was able to quantify my personal memory recovery trajectory in terms of stress-strain interaction energy, highlighting both irreversible disruptions from seizures and reversible gains from neuroplasticity. 3. Comparison with standard clinical methods. Commonly used clinical scales, such as the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, MoCA, provide important snapshots, but lack fine-grained resolution. My VMT approach offers continuous, daily level tracking, which is more sensitive to fluctuations and better suited for personalized recovery monitoring. 4. Lifestyle and recovery. My findings underscore the critical importance of lifestyle factors, the particularly stable blood pressure, glucose management, sleep, and structured memory training. These inputs were as decisive as any medical treatment. The near-complete restoration of memory within 90 days supports the idea that lifestyle is not secondary, but central, in stroke recovery. 5. Broader implications. This study demonstrates that the VMT framework can be generalized beyond mobility outcomes to cognitive domains such as memory, It could serve as a template for other patients to track and quantify recovery of either mobility or speech, offering clinicians a new tool to individualize rehabilitation strategies. Conclusion: this single case study report of a pontine hemorrhage complicated by seizures shows that memory recovery is primarily influenced by seizure activity, rather than the bleeding cerebral microvessel itself. Using VMT analysis, I was able to demonstrate a clear, measurable, and nonlinear recovery trajectory, early instability, followed by rapid improvement, and ultimately near complete recovery, within first 7 weeks of this 90 days golden window for stroke recovery. The findings confirm that the first 90 days after stroke remain the most critical window for rehabilitation, and that cognition and memory recovery, often overlooked compared to motor function, can be measured, quantified, and improved through systematic lifestyle interventions. VMT Appendix: Observed memory retention data, week 1 to 4, 61% to 82%, week 5 to 8, 90% to 99%, week 9 to 13, 97% to 100%. Interpretation: the recovery trajectory shows an initial unstable phase, followed by a rapid climb and eventual plateau near full recovery. This pattern reflects the dual impact of early setbacks, seizures, and strong neuroplasticity gains during the golden recovery window. Disclaimer: this content is provided for educational reference only, and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.